What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode on the island. As always, I appreciate you guys just tuning in and clicking on the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you like the content. Apologize, I've been away for a few months. Just been kind of going back and forth between my college town and my hometown, spending time with friends and family, and trying to get back into working out. So, with that, I'm going to be trying to post some more videos in the upcoming weeks, but with all this Packers news, oh my God, I had to post a video because boy, does it feel so fucking good to see a franchise that has literally stepped on your neck for the past decade. I mean, since Urlacher's decline, the rivalry hasn't been anything. I mean, we've won 3 games in the past how many matchups versus Aaron Rodgers? I mean, it's just versus the Packers. I mean, we just get killed, and you were just waiting. You're like, you didn't see Aaron Rodgers falling off. And as a Bears fan, drafting Justin Fields before this upcoming year, I was kind of like, I mean, Justin Fields is a dog. Don't get me wrong, and I'm going to be touching on that a little later in the video, but he's not enough to take down A-Rod, I don't think. And he's not proven, so I can't say he can. And you knew, but that was the thing, it was all predicated around Aaron Rodgers. Did they have a solid defense? Yes. Was it as good as it was the year before? No. So you have a above average defense, top 10 probably still, paired up with a team that has no wide receiver weapons outside of Davante Adams, who we all know is, they've broken off contract talks. So their 2 best stars, besides Aaron Jones, who they fucking signed, I'm pretty sure, along with their 2nd round pick, A.J. Dillon. It's beautiful to see you guys imploding on yourself for once in my adult to teenage life. And I am here for every single minute of it, and I'm sure all Bears fans are as well. Because without A-Rod, that team does not go. Yeah, do you have a solid pass-catching running back in, Aaron Jones? And can he run the ball effectively? Yes. Do they have a solid offensive line? Yes. Is their defense above average? Top 10? Yes. No wide receiver weapons. And the most important position, the fucking quarterback, is a question mark. And as Bears fans know, that's the most important position. And the Packers have relied on him so much over the years. I don't know how they're going to, rebound. They could run the ball. But, I mean, unless you're the 49ers of, 2019, who were just absolutely ramming the ball down people's throats, whether they liked it or not, the Packers aren't going to be able to just run the ball. I mean, the defenses are going to load up the box, and they're going to be thinking run. So if your only weapon's Davante Adams, you double him. Jordan Love, you don't know if what he is. Obviously, he's probably not that good because they've offered Aaron Rodgers an extension to stay there for 5 years. So they're clearly not confident in Jordan Love. And that news report is huge. And that's exactly why, because they don't believe in Love. And if they did, they would have said, you know what, we're ready to move on. They let go of Brett Favre at one point. It's just amazing to see them imploding. I fucking love it. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's not coming back. You see that? He turned down that offer. He's not coming back. It doesn't matter. You offered him the most amount of money in the league. It's not possible. So they're stuck with Jordan Love, where they aren't confident in. Aaron Rodgers is good as gone. Davante Adams has broken off contract talks and is probably looking for a Super Bowl contender after this year because he knows Jordan Love is not that dude. And if after 2 decades, the Packers finally ran out of, I wouldn't say luck, but Aaron Rodgers falling to them and fucking becoming the absolute unit that he is, and then Brett Favre being traded from Atlanta and becoming a fucking star, their run with that shit's over now, okay? And this is where we come to the Chicago Bears. Because you look at everyone else across the division. You got Green Bay, who, has a solid team. We had a solid team, but with a shit quarterback. And we couldn't win more than fucking 8 games. If Nagy does a good job and Fields is exactly who we think he is, who's in our way of this division? Jordan Love? within a top 10 maybe above average defense, definitely. Jared Goff and the fucking Lions with Dan Campbell as their head coach. Our biggest threat is the Vikings, and their biggest weapon. I mean, Justin Jefferson's nasty, Dalvin Cook's nasty. Don't get me wrong, but I mean they do have Adam Thielen. Kind of blanking on a few names, but they're our biggest threat. And I mean, we've had success versus the Vikings, even when we've been a shitty team. So, you know, I'm not looking past the Vikings, but I expect us to win at least one of those games, lose a game by a close margin, if not win that other game. So with that, I think the Chicago Bears at this point, so Justin Fields comes in by week 2, week 3 max. Next thing you know, that boy's popping off, giving our whole team a boost, playing like the best quarterback in the draft. I mean, I said it. I think he was the number 2 quarterback. I still thought Trevor Lawrence was a little bit better, just because how he has been just kind of that top dog. Call me, you know, going with the flow if you must, but I wasn't confident enough to say Justin Fields could go above Trevor Lawrence just based off how Trevor Lawrence played Bama and so on and so forth. He did get fucked up by LSU, though, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, with that being said, I thought he was the second best quarterback in the draft. I didn't think Zach Wilson was a proven commodity. Trey Lance wasn't proven. He's a stud athlete, and he played really well at that bottom level, which I'm just like, I don't want him personally. If he fell, maybe, but I wouldn't trade up to get him like the Bears did if Lance was there. Mac Jones, no, what the fuck. I've been seeing so many great things about just Justin Fields in the Chicago Bears organization. You look back to pre-draft, which everyone's saying he can't make it past the first read. He was the number 1 rated fucking quarterback after the first read. Are you fucking crazy? He was better than every other quarterback at that specific thing people were criticizing him for. It's insane. I don't even want to give too much attention to it because it's just people being fucking stupid, not doing their homework. And that's the thing. Don't listen to these analysts all the time. Some of them are really, obviously, sometimes they're going to hit, sometimes they're going to miss. But do your own research, not the fucking do your own research like the whole fucking COVID conspiracies and all that shit. I'm not even getting that. I'm talking about do your own research. Look up the stats. Just get your hands on film. Actually see the player before you just believe some of these guys and what they're saying. I mean, obviously the highlight tapes are really good. You can tell what a guy's ceiling is, but until you watch at least a game or two, you don't really have an idea of who that player is. And after watching Justin Fields' film, dog, I mean, could drop a dime on the deep throw with a flick of a wrist, get out of the pocket, gain 30-plus yards on just a broken down play. You watch him against Clemson get 4 broken ribs. He said, fuck Clemson. I'm going back in with broken ribs, and I'm going to whoop your ass by fucking 14 points. And then went to Bama with broken ribs, and, I mean, if Ohio State's defensive coordinators and putting fucking Devontae Smith matched up on Tough Borland, maybe they'd have a chance. They were only down by, like, was it 21 points, 24 points, which is still quite a margin, but Ohio State was just outmatched in almost every phase except the quarterback. Justin Fields really was kind of carrying that entire load. But with that said, our defense picks up a little bit. I'm really hoping. I hate the fact that we let go of Kyle Fuller. Terrible move. So Jalen Johnson's going to have to step up big. Hopefully Desmond Trufant can kind of pull a Prince Amukamara and really fill in nicely for a couple years. Not a couple years this year. A couple years would be nice. But we have a solid defense. Good core of wide receivers. Allen Robinson's just, I mean, guys, he didn't want to be on a franchise tag, and we forced him, and this is the consequence. You know, saying, you're going to do this to me? Fuck off. I'm going to do this to you, and I'm going to go get a contract after this year. The only way I can see him staying, you've obviously fucking cut Andy Dalton, so that's 10 mil saved. Or I think it was I can't remember if it was it had to be a 1-year deal, so he'll be gone. You may have to cut a defensive starter and offer Allen Robinson that money, because when Justin Fields pops off, Allen Robinson will be open to fucking coming back to Chicago, and you're going to have some cap space to pay him. So regardless, they need to bring back A-Rob. But for this year, we got weapons. We do have a great backfield. Tariq Cohen's coming back. The tight end room is really solid. Tevin Jenkins addition and Travis Borum, I think was his name, from Missouri, the guard or tackle, maybe guard. I think if they can both find a spot on the offensive line, and I think they both could. I mean, Tevin Jenkins was an NFL-ready tackle. Borum has a huge frame, and if he can just learn how to use it, I think we have one of the best lines in the NFL. Above average when I say one of the best. So, better than last year, of course. I'm hoping Ifedi's not starting, but sorry for the long video. I kind of wanted to touch on a bunch of different things, but I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Really just soak in the Packers just falling apart, because we've had to fucking soak in all those losses and all the jokes and all the fucking stat lines of Aaron Rodgers just dicking down the Chicago Bears franchise. And finally, they're breaking down and they're falling away. And the Bears, right at that time, are starting to pick up, at least in terms of a quarterback that we actually believe in for one time in the past 20 years. But, all that being said, guys, enjoy them falling apart. I'll be posting more videos coming in the next coming weeks. And thank you as always for tuning in. And hit that like button if you appreciate the content, and subscribe if you want to hear more. Doses.